Hi guys, welcome to Money by Sunny. Have you ever wondered how much money there's floating around in the world, or what paper money is really made of? This video covers 9 fun facts you might not know about money and currencies, so you can go impress your friends and family. Let's get started. Number 1. How much money is there in the world? That depends on a lot of things. For example, the value of currency in different parts of the world can differ markedly, so it's tough to say exactly how much money is in the world. But let's talk about physical money to start with. The banknotes in circulation worldwide are estimated to be around $6.6 trillion as at March 2021. This means that the total cash value of circulating banknotes and coins is around half the gross domestic product of Europe, which stood at a little over $13 trillion in 2020. That's a huge figure, and seeing as this amount keeps in circulation, thanks to people continuing to use it, should give you a clear understanding of why money is so ingrained into society, as well as our own lives. Of course, there's more than just money jingling around in your pocket. There's also what is kept in banks and other financial institutions as deposits and reserves. This figure is a little bit hazier, but in 2017, this was estimated to be in excess of a gigantic $80 trillion. Number 2. Space money. Is there actually a currency that can be used in space? Well, kind of. Introducing the quasi-universal intergalactic denomination, or quid for short. If anyone's watching this video from the UK, you can probably tell that this isn't a fully serious currency though. Quid was created back in 2007 by a foreign exchange company called TravelX as a cheeky way for would-be space travelers to purchase goods and services, just like we do with regular currencies here on Earth. Physically, quids look like slightly bulbous rounded plastic discs, which is intentional. The reasoning was that the sharp edges on coins or paper money could be dangerous in outer space. Quids, however, are nice and rounded, ensuring that they won't pose a risk when coming into contact with spacesuits, for example. With the prospect of space tourism becoming more of a reality thanks to the likes of SpaceX and Blue Origin, who knows, quids could actually be useful after all. Number 3. Money is the root of all evil. Okay, this isn't actually a fact per se, but this is one of the most common sayings around money. And while it may be pretty cliche for sure, there is some truth behind it. Money is the root of all evil doesn't mean that money is equivalent to evilness, or that we shouldn't spend any or be happy to have money. All it means is that when you put money above other things in life, like family, relationships, or friendships, you're making a bad choice. Does wealth automatically make people evil? That may be going a bit too far, but it may have an impact on your mindset and outlook on life if you have too much of it. How do you know if you have too much money? It's really relative, but if you find yourself not enjoying the simple things in life, or if you find yourself always wanting more and more, then it may be time to reevaluate your life goals. Remember, money is just a means to an end. It's not the end goal itself. Number 4. How money began. There isn't a universally agreed upon origin of money per se. History can be a little hazy when it comes to money, and nobody really knows when we implemented the idea of using cowrie shells as money, to using coins and ingots as stores of value. What we do know is that humans have had trade and exchange systems for thousands of years. Some of the earliest descriptions of money as we know it were found in ancient Mesopotamia. During the Bronze Age, the ancient Mesopotamians used to barter for goods and services. Some people used cows as money, others used shells or feathers. They gradually developed a system using tokens made of clay to measure and represent value, which can be thought of as money. This form of money then evolved and spread to other parts of the world and was used in different trade systems. From here, the system spread out even further and eventually became a part of our financial system. Today, money is used in many different ways and is the backbone of the global economy. Number 5. Currency symbols. The currency symbol represents the country's international identity, so in a way, it's really a piece of a nation. Over the centuries, people have come up with creative symbols to represent the wealth of their countries. Today, there are over 80 different currency symbols in use worldwide, from the Afghan afghani to the Polish zloty. As you might expect, the dollar symbol is one of the most common, with more than 15 countries around the world using it. In terms of age, the Indian rupee is one of the oldest currencies in existence, originating over 2,500 years ago. However, you may be surprised to know that it didn't have a symbol until 2010. Before, it was commonly referred to as just RS, rather than the rupee symbol it is used now. Number 6. Paper money is sometimes made of plastic. In over 20 countries worldwide, paper money is actually made from a special kind of plastic called polymer. Actual paper for paper money is not that common a material now. For example, the US uses a blend of cotton and linen for its currency notes. Some countries like Australia and New Zealand have been using polymer bills for years, and others have only recently started to switch over. Switching to polymer money can be costly for a country, but the benefits usually outweigh the costs. Firstly, and most importantly, counterfeit bills are much more difficult to produce on polymer than on paper. Polymer money is also tougher and more flexible, which means that it's less likely to be damaged in transit. It's also more resistant to water damage due to its texture, which is a godsend if you've ever left money in your jeans pocket when it goes into the washing machine. This enhanced durability means that they don't need to be replaced as often, which can be an expensive exercise. Number 7. Roman soldiers used to be paid in salt. If you've ever done a job that you hated, you probably thought you're being treated like dirt. And that statement applied almost literally, though in the opposite sense, to one of the most respected jobs in ancient Rome. Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt, as salt was a very valuable commodity at the time due to its ability to preserve food. This is where the term salary comes from, as the Latin word for salt is sal. The Roman Empire was a civilization that lasted for nearly 1,000 years, so the Romans obviously knew a thing or two when it came to their economy. Payment in salt also gave rise to the idiom worth your salt, which means being good at your job or being worth your pay. Let's not judge how the ancient Romans decided to compensate their army all those many centuries ago, but let's also be grateful that our salaries are now paid in good old paper money. Number 8. Elizabeth everywhere. Given Britain's history as a former colonial power, it's perhaps not surprising that Queen Elizabeth II holds the unique honor of appearing on the currency notes of over 30 countries. She first appeared on Canada's $20 bill back in 1935, when she was only 9 years old. Over the next 80-plus years, she has become a familiar figure on banknotes in the United Kingdom, as well as its former and existing colonies and territories, ranging from Australia to Tuvalu. Looking at the different banknotes issued through the years is an interesting way to observe the Queen's life in pictures, as we see her progression from pre-adolescent princess to the world's current longest reigning monarch. Number 9. The first ever commercial Bitcoin transaction was for 2 pizzas. Believe it or not, but the first ever commercial transaction for Bitcoin was accomplished for the small amount of 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 Papa John's pizzas. The transaction number and timestamp are now stored in the Bitcoin blockchain forever. Back in 2010, a programmer based in Florida by the name of Laszlo Hanieks agreed to a Bitcoin transaction with another early adopter, who ended up purchasing the pizzas and delivering them to Mr. Hanieks. Since then, the value of Bitcoin has appreciated exponentially, and at the time of this video, January 2022, 10,000 Bitcoins would be worth about $430 million. Considering that Papa John's today charges around $15 for a large pizza, you can see how the value of Bitcoin has exploded since 2010. There you have it. I hope this video gave you some interesting information about money that you didn't know before. If you like this video, please do subscribe and leave us a comment. See you next time on Money by Sunny.